So the Democrats doing what they do best, which is not actually legislating or getting anything done on behalf of the American people, but never-ending investigations and harassment of the president, want yet another shot at impeachment, once again alleging that this president has overstepped his authority. He's using intimidation now over the Justice Department in the sentencing of Roger Stone. And we even have to have people like Chris Wallace over at Faux Pas News, formerly known as Fox News, weighing in saying the President of the United States has no right to put his thumb on the scales of justice. Here we go again. Roger Stone, longtime friend and personal acquaintance of President Donald J. Trump, a political strategy master who worked for Richard Nixon, Ronald Reagan, orchestrated the recount within the Florida vote for George W. Bush. Yes, Roger Stone, subject of the Netflix documentary Get Me, Roger Stone. That Roger Stone, and supposedly lying multiple times to the FBI during the Mueller investigation, was found guilty and sentenced to 9 years in prison. Well, that was the sentencing recommendation. 9 years in prison. Really? For what again? Because there's an awful lot of people who have done far worse than Roger Stone that haven't seen any jail time and won't see any jail time. And I know what some of you were thinking yesterday when the president tweeted out that he thought the treatment that Roger Stone was getting was unfair. And then, of course, we have 4 of the prosecutors resign. And now, obviously, this is ammunition for the Democrats to come after Trump again, that he's interfering with the Justice Department. And why does Trump do this? And stop. No, don't stop. This is a fight the president wants. This is not done foolhardily. This is not done foolishly. The president is doing this for several reasons. One, this is a gross miscarriage of justice, and he is standing up for what's right. Second, yeah, Roger Stone's a friend of his. Now, he could just pardon him and be done with it. But the president wants to clear out the corruption. He wants the swamp drained. He doesn't want any president or any American to go through this kind of hogwash again. These rogue agencies that are filled with these unelected bureaucrats that serve year after year, decade after decade. They're accountable to no one. They answer to no one. They don't get voted in and voted out. So you don't know who they are. I don't know who they are. And they just stay like leeches, sucking off the public tit of the American taxpayer. And now the president has said, that is enough. Some people have said, well, it's his Justice Department. What doesn't he know what? These are Obama holdovers. Some of these people probably go back to the Clinton era, even the Jimmy Carter era. These leeches get involved and they just stay forever. And Trump has decided this is the perfect time to really drain the swamp. And I'll tell you the other reason he's doing this, the black vote. Oh, yes, I said it, the black vote. Let me start with that. African Americans in our country right now are a major voting bloc. The Democrats need the black vote to stay in power. That said, they are a voting bloc right now in search of a place to put their vote. Because I'm telling you right now, the one thing the Democrats are going to rue is in the complete implosion and bye of Joe Biden, they have lost the black vote. And I'll tell you why. They're not going to go with crazy Bernie. Even though Bernie is saying things that he is hoping will drum up the black vote, I'm going to give you all free housing, free education, free. Right now, the economy is working for black America. They're watching the Trump administration not just pay them lip service, but actually bring jobs and projects into urban communities, into black neighborhoods, into black communities, and working grassroots at the ground level, not just playing lip service during an election season, but actually coming in, incentivizing businesses to go into black communities and revitalize them, bring them back. Lowest unemployment ever for minorities in this country happening under Donald J. Trump. And the black people see that. Not only do they see that, but with Joe Biden basically being over and out and see ya, Bernie Sanders with his free, that becomes insulting. In other words, black America has had their come to Jesus revival. And they understand that it is really the Democratic Party that has kept them on the plantation, that has told them, with all of their welfare programs, with all of their handouts and their giveaways and their freebies and their government this and government that, what they've really said to black America is, you're too lazy, you're too stupid, you don't have what it takes to make it without us. We're here to help you. And black America is rejecting that. They see it for the liberal racism that it actually is. They're not going to vote for Bernie Sanders. At the end of the day, if you talk to most black people, they're kind of conservative. And they're conservative in this sense. They're pretty traditional in their values, and they want a bright future for their kids. Well, Bernie is just a welfare throwback. In other words, saying, we have to go back to the laws of post-slavery that, basically I'm going to give you 50 acres and a mule. Really? Way to go, Bernie. Way to insult an entire race of individuals. They're not going to vote for Mayor Pete. And I'm going to share the little secret that the mainstream media knows, but they're not talking about, and nobody else is going to say it, but I will. Black America, by and large, is not pro-gay. There, I said it. They're not. I'm not saying that there aren't black individuals who are gay, but the group as a whole, black America, they're not real up on the whole LGBTQ agenda. That's just not their thing. So I hate to tell you this, especially when you sweep through the South, you're going to have not only Southern whites not on board with a Mayor Pete, you're going to have Southern blacks not on board with Mayor Pete. So right now, the black voting bloc is in search of a place to put their vote. You got Donald Trump has given them a great economy. He's investing in their neighborhoods, in their communities. And I cannot emphasize this enough. He is the president that did away with unfair sentencing to African Americans. People sitting in prison for decades because of marijuana possession. And President Trump can make the argument to the black community that what he was doing in standing up for Roger Stone was the same thing that he did in standing up for prison sentencing reform, and that we have got to stop having two sets of laws in this country and two sets of consequences. That there's one set of laws and consequences for the elite, and then another set of laws and consequences for those who are not part of the inner circle. The president is setting this up to make that argument, and he's going to win that argument. Why? Because the Democrats, who still underestimate President Trump, still don't understand him. The lying legacy corporate corrupt mainstream media, those maniacs at CNN, and those weirdos over at PMSNBC who think this president is either some type of out of control, stupid idiot who doesn't know what he's doing, and he's just Hitler. No, what they don't understand is how smart he is, how well he actually does connect to the American people. America is sick and tired of these two sets of laws. This, again, Democrats with their double standard hypocrisy. Case in point, Roger Stone ought to sit in prison for 9 years. How many years did Hillary Rodham Clinton sit in prison for destroying her Blackberries and her email servers and washing things down with bleach bit so that the FBI could not retract any information, any digital files from any of her devices or the people who work for her? Let me ask you a simple question. If that had been you under investigation by the FBI, and they seized your cell phone, your laptop, your CPU, and all of your mobile devices, and they went to start checking them, and they found that everything had not only been erased, but erased in such a way there was no way for them to be able to retrieve anything off of those devices, do you think you would simply be handed those devices back and sent on your way, or would you immediately be brought up on charges for obstruction? Destruction of evidence, destruction of obstruction of justice. Exactly. You know what would happen to you. Roger Stone misled the FBI. Didn't James Comey? Didn't Hillary Clinton? What about Bill Clinton when he was impeached? Lied. Did you have sex with that woman? No, I didn't have sex with her. And he didn't just say that to America. He said that to the investigation. He got censured. He was disbarred. But he never saw a day of jail time. Even though he had to admit he lied. He didn't just lie to us. He lied under oath. That's perjury. He lied to federal authorities. He didn't go to jail. Hillary didn't go to jail. James Comey hasn't gone to jail. In fact, he's making the college tour. He's getting paid big speaking funds. He's got a book deal. He and the James the Clappers, these guys lie. They lie to FISA courts. Adam Schiff. And yet, nothing happens to them. Little old Roger Stone, a guy who, he's a dirty prankster in dirty politics. Every candidate has somebody on their staff that engages in dirty politics. That's the game. You don't think James Carville and George Snuffleupagus back in the day did dirty things to those who were trying to oppose Bill Clinton? Really? Come on. You're not that naive. You're not that stupid. We lied to investigators. Roger Stone lied to investigators. The whole investigation was a lie. The whole investigation was a complete canard, fabrication, witch hunt. It was part of a coup to overthrow a duly elected president. They brought in Bobby Mueller to give this thing some type of false sense of legitimacy. And then when it became painfully obvious to everyone that Mueller had nothing, knew he had nothing, certain people, because of so-called process crimes like General Flynn and Roger Stone, had not just a book thrown at them, they had the entire Library of Congress thrown at them, and they were absolutely just decimated, destroyed financially. SWAT teams going into their homes and arresting them with CNN cameras there, catching it all live because they just happen to be in the neighborhood. No leaking going on or anything. Roger Stone got this huge sentence to try and make the Mueller investigation look credible. Trump knows that. Attorney General Barr knows that. These so-called four prosecutors, and here we go. The Democrats, they do the same playbook, the same script every time. We were told what a wonderful, upstanding individual James Comey was when he was trying to take down President Trump. Funny, though, When they thought he was trying to take down Hillary Rodham Clinton, we were told he was a no good and he couldn't be trusted and he needed to be fired. Trump fires him, and all of a sudden, he's this wonderful guy who walks on water, heals the sick, and raises the dead, James Comey. Now we're hearing, of course, the whistleblowers and the witnesses in Ukraine. And President Trump has fired them and reassigned them. And these are such wonderful, patriotic people. These were slime balls. And now we're going to be told that these 4 prosecutors, why, when they defecate, it comes out marble. These people are above reproach. Jesus prays to them. Guarantee you, they're Obama holdovers. Guarantee you. They were there to do damage control, to make the Mueller investigation seem somewhat credible, when at its very core, it was a complete and total coup and fraud. He lied to the investigators. The investigation was the crime. And everyone involved on the pro side of it ought to be cuffed and in jail. Not Roger Stone. I know Roger Stone. I have talked to Roger Stone. I have interviewed Roger Stone. Unbelievable. And then, after the jury foreman tweets out his support for the 4 individuals who resigned their jobs, President Trump says that would seem to be some bias, doesn't it? And immediately the president gets jumped. How dare he say that? Chris Wallace over there at Faux Pas News, formerly known as Fox News, actually said, how dare the president put his thumb on the scales of justice? How dare you try to pass yourself off as a journalist? You don't hold a candle to your daddy. Get off of the TV. Get out of the news business. You're a propagandist. Shut up. Or if you're going to do propaganda, say what you are. You're just a political commentator. Don't pass yourself off as a newsman, Chris. You're not. You're absolutely no different. None whatsoever. No different. You could tell I'm a little worked up about this one. And I intend to stay that way because they're trying to create another false narrative. What keeps me from totally losing it is knowing that in another 4D chess move, the president wants this. He wants the American people to see this fight. He wants them to see this argument. He wants them to understand just how vile and corrupt these people are. Jim Barr, hold strong. You know why they're demanding his resignation and why he hasn't just resigned or recused himself and gone away like a Jeff Sessions? Because they haven't got any dirt or blackmail on Jim Barr. They're scared of him. So they're trying to whip up American sentiment against him. You know why Jeff Sessions was so absolutely impotent and couldn't get it up and do what he needed to do? They had something on him. I don't know what, but they had something on him. They haven't got anything on Jim Barr. You know why? He is a decent, law-abiding, law-following attorney general. In other words, he's not part of the swamp, and that makes him now public enemy number 2, right behind Donald Trump. And the American people are going to see this now for what it is. And once again, Nancy Botox Pelosi, because she is really now the most brain-dead person on Capitol Hill, took Trump's bait. Took it. Hook, line, and sinker. And now, she's going to try to make the case that the president, again, abuse of power, blah, 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 blah. And this is going to let the president and all of his defenders, and even if it does come down to more hearings, it's going to let them parade out. Because, see, one of the things about the impeachment being over, well, we don't need to talk about James Comey anymore. We don't need to talk about Hillary Clinton and email servers or any of that anymore. It just goes away and people forget about it. It lets Trump and his people, and it lets the Republicans with backbone on Capitol Hill bring it all up and talk about it all over again, just in time for election season. And demand that real justice finally be done. Because at the end of the day, the one thing the president can do that the Congress is absolutely powerless over, he can always just pardon Roger Stone and General Flynn. But the president is thinking long-term 4D chess strategy here. He wants this fight. He wants America to see just how absolutely corrupt these people are. He wants Americans to see that the Democrats are all about this double standard. There's two sets of laws and two sets of consequences depending on which group you're in. And the American people already know, by and large, us, whether we're Democrat or Republican, we're not in that group. So anytime we're under any type of investigation, whether by the IRS, the FBI, we are automatically going to lose and be crushed. And the president wants the American people to know you've got a president who's on your side in this, and we're going to do right by Roger Stone because we're going to do right by you. This is going to play well to the American people. This is going to bring him more black votes because they do understand about sentencing disparity. He's going to make this argument. He's going to win this argument. And again, the Democrats will be left doing Thanks for watching this rant. Really do appreciate it. Make sure you give us a thumbs up and a like. Share this on your pages. Also, make sure you are subscribed to the channel and that you have smacked the bell for notification of my rants. Make sure you click the word all to get notifications of all of my rants. Why? They're worth watching.